Hi everyone, tonight I'm going to be making Duffins, and the first thing I've done is put my oven on 170 degrees fan oven, 190 if you haven't got a fan oven. I have greased a 12-hole muffin pan. I've used my cake release, but otherwise use some of the melted butter or how you normally grease it. We're not putting cake cases in these, it's going to cook straight in the muffin pan, so you'll see that's greased. I have melted the 140 grams of butter or margarine, mine's marge. I've put it in the microwave to melt it. If you haven't got a microwave, then put it on the stove and just melt it in a saucepan on the hob, and then leave it just to cool off a bit, not a huge amount. I'm now going to weigh out 140 grams of caster sugar, 200 grams of plain flour and a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and then I'll come back to you. Right, so I've measured out the flour, sugar and bicarb. That's in one bowl. I'll put that to the side. And in another bowl, I've got a clean bowl here, I'm going to measure out the 100 ml of natural yogurt, 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then I'm going to whisk them up with my whisk in the bowl here. Don't worry if you haven't got a whisk, just use a fork, and then I'll come back to you. Right, so I've got my yogurt, eggs and vanilla mixed there with the whisk. I've got my melted butter and I've got my dry ingredients, the flour, the sugar and the bicarb. So all I'm going to do is pour in all of the wet ingredients into the dry. So that's the yogurt and that, and this is the melted butter. So let's get the bits off the bottom. So that is in, and now I've got a large metal spoon, and you just combine it quickly as you can. So this is, I'll combine this and then I'll come back to you. I've got my mixture combined. It took a bit to get the lumps out, but you want to make sure that it's a smooth batter, so just keep turning it until all of the lumps are out, because those lumps are flour and you want that incorporated. So now what I'm going to do, if you can see, is I'm going to use the same spoon. I'm going to fill up the muffin cases, but you don't want to fill it to the top, because you're going to put jam on top and then more muffin filling on top of the jam, so you get the jam in the middle. So I'm going to do this, and then when I'm ready to put the jam in, I'll come back to you and show you. Right, I've filled the muffin cases. I've probably used about 2/3 of the mixture, so I've got that much left so that I can top it after I've put the jam in. So all I'm going to do, and this is a jam of choice, so I've got some strawberries here, strawberry jam, and it's basically put a teaspoon of jam onto each case, and then I'm going to fill it with the rest of the batter, but I'll come back to you when I've done that. Right, my cases are filled. I've got 6 with strawberry jam and 6 with some lovely homemade blackcurrant jam that Jane Blagdon kindly gave to me. And now what I'm going to do is just fill the muffin over the jam with more of the batter. So just so that the jam is covered. And when they're all done, I'll come back to you and show you. Right, there's them all covered. I've left a couple in there so I can just see the jam, but the others are all covered. So I just want to see how it works if you don't have enough mixture to even it out. But basically, I've got 12 muffins. They're going to go in the oven for 16 to 18 minutes until they're risen, golden and springy to touch. And when they're done, I'll come back to you. They've had about 15 minutes in the oven. I thought I'd show you when they're cooking. I have domed. A little bit of the jam's coming out on a couple of them, so I might put too much in, but we'll soon see. Hopefully not too much, so it doesn't stick, but we'll see. I'm not going to lie, they're not the easiest things to get out of the pan, so I might try them on Friday with the cup cases. You'll see I've got 1 and the jam's leaked out the bottom. I've got 2 and it hasn't. And then all you do for that extra sugar hit, if you want it, I'm going to do half and half, is dip them, they're still warm, I've left them to cool in the tin for about 10 minutes just to cool down, and you roll them in the sugar. You're supposed to roll the tops, but for me that's going to be too much. I'll do half and half. I'm going to see about getting the rest out. These ones that have fit the pan, that's come out easy. The one that's spread over like that. So I think my lesson is I might have put too much jam in, so it's gone down to the bottom. I always made jam tarts with too much jam in them, so I'll give it a go with the rest and then come back to you. Right, well, it's worked on some of them. I've rolled them all in sugar. The ones without the sugar on the top is because I'm not putting the sugar on the top. You can see how they are. I have made the jam, which I thought would come out the top, has come mainly out of the bottom. If I show you the tin, that's the tin. So they have come out, it's just a jam bit at the bottom, so they're quite difficult. So on Friday we'll try them in the muffin cases, and if that works better, then I'll do this as I'll add it as an add-on so that you know to get some.